Hauntcast.
For hunting and Halloween fanatics.
One ring.
That's a telephone. I'll answer it.
No, I must count them.
Yeah,
Two rings.
I have to answer the phone there.
No, I am counting the rings. Three rings.
Hauntcast Bone Phone.
On the Bone Phone, it's Baker, and I'm kicking it on the east side, but I'm chatting with Nic Smith, who's the haunter behind the scenes from Tales of the West Side. What's up, Nick?
What's up? How we doing?
Hey, man. I think I put out a call, like, hey, is there any haunters out there that you want me to interview? And then you were like, how about Nic Smith? And I'm like, is that you? And you were like, yeah, it's me. And I'm like, hey, I appreciate someone who just like, steps right up. And I'm like, hey,
it's been a dream of mine for a long time.
Cool, man. Now, how long have you been involved in this whole hunting Halloween nonsense? How long have you been into this shit?
Oh, man. It's been a lifelong thing. My family, it started with my grandma. Then my mom kind of took it over for a little bit. And I kind of took over. It's been the story ever since.
Like, what was your mom doing?
Oh, I mean, it started off really basic, it was like a couple blow molds, maybe a store-bought animatronic or something. And I was never really into the store-bought stuff myself. So I really started messing with like windshield wiper motors and stuff of that nature, and just started building stuff. A lot of PVC, a lot of spray foam.
Okay,
you name it.
All right, so I know you're on the younger side. How old are you?
I am 23.
I usually talk to a bunch of old fuckers.
Oh yeah.
like myself, but it's kind of cool to see something. I thought it would be interesting too, because I'm looking at you. I'm like, oh man, you're definitely a young, a kid in my eyes, I guess. I'm like definitely on the younger side, and you're somebody. It's kind of good to get a different perspective, especially and see somebody who's kind of coming up and kind of learning and working their way up. I mean, there's a lot of guys who have been around banging around doing this shit for 20, 30 years, So it's kind of nice to see, to get a different perspective from somebody who's kind of more on the other side, of things, kind of making their way through. So getting into it, how did you start? What was your journey like online? How were you finding stuff? Was it all just YouTube, or were you finding stuff elsewhere?
It was a combo of a lot of YouTube, a lot of Steve's Haunted Yard. He's a big inspiration for me. I love him so much. And also a lot of just spending time on the haunt forum, just kind of creeping around, borrowing ideas, And
so you were, you were on like the haunt and Halloween forums back, Oh yeah. Like when you were even like, what were you, like 11 or 12? You were on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
way too young,
dude. I hate and I don't know how many. I don't want to keep repeating myself. I know I've said this so many times. I do miss the forum days. I go back over to the Halloween forum every once in a while and like post some stuff, but it's just not. It's a skeleton of what it used to be. It's
it really is,
and it sucks. I'm trying to do something on Discord, which the one thing I liked about Discord is it allows you, unlike the Facebook groups, where it allows you to, categorize topics. So you can, it's easier for you to get into conversations in certain areas instead of somebody, instead of the whole group just being, every time somebody posts things get pushed down and pushed down and pushed down, and you have to do a lot of scrolling in some of the groups to find things because there's zero organization, and that's what I hate about the Facebook groups. So I've over the last like month or so, because I know a lot of YouTubers use Discord, a lot of streamers use Discord, and I was thinking, you know what? Let me give it a shot. I don't know if it's going to work. I'm hoping that I can get enough of a community over there, enough of at least enough of a group where people can just, just a bunch of homies just kicking it around, talking, shop and haunting. I am starting doing streaming. Actually, by the time this drops, I'll already have been doing my Sunday night streams. I'm going to try to do Sunday night streams. I'm thinking about doing a drink and think one night, one week. The next week, maybe doing a show and tell, bring something you built, you worked on, whatever, talk about it. Maybe even doing a make and take at some point where it's saying, hey, we're gonna work on one specific thing. So I just get some ideas of doing things just so we could get a bunch of people on, chat about shit. Maybe we can help each other out, work through whatever we're working on, that type of thing. So anyway, make sure you're over on Discord. Try to be active over there. I'm really trying to get some activity and get things happening. It should be a great group, and join in anyway. So
sign up and get on there.
So cool. Anyway, so beyond that, you kind of did a little bit on the forums. I know you. That's the thing is when. If you go back when the forums were in their heyday, like say that's 2010, where they were probably at their biggest, just before Facebook blew up and everybody moved to Facebook and started their own Facebook groups. Just before that fucking happened. It was really cool because everybody was there. And then YouTube was just kind of in its infancy. People just started like vlogging and doing vids on there, making how-tos and shit like that. So, I mean, but it was just part of your normal thing. It's just like that was always there for you. So, and Steve's Haunted Yard, Steve was always been a prolific poster and sharer of stuff. So, I've known him from way back from the forum days all the way through, and he's always been out there sharing a lot of cool stuff. So, a lot of good knowledge out there.
Being a little kid watching him on YouTube, it's like a nightly thing almost.
What were a couple of things that you first got into building? You first tried on your own?
It was a lot of just building really basic, just PVC armatures, almost like a stick figure almost. Just kind of dress them up. And I kind of feel that, how I could really add some animation to that, some movement, and I just ever since, it's just tweaking it here and there, just seeing what all I can add to it and how crazy I can get it. I try to, every year the display grows and gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
Where are you located?
Springfield, Missouri.
Springfield, Missouri. Is Springfield, Missouri supposed to be where the Simpsons really are? That Springfield, is that supposed to be the Springfield or not? I know that there's.
I don't believe so.
Okay, I know there's one of the Springfields out there because there's a Springfield in almost every state, and I think that's why they used it. I was just curious. I'm like, I don't know if it's the Missouri one. There's one out there that is supposed to be kind of the one that the Simpsons. Anyway, that inspired the Simpsons, but whatever. What is the West Side? Like, are you on the west side of the Mississippi, or like where does that name come from?
Well, honestly, it's just the side of town I grew up on. And, over here, there just wasn't a lot of Halloween spirit. There's a lot of kids, just no Halloween over here. You'd be lucky if you saw an inflatable or two. And like I said, being a family tradition, it just grew more and more. And just, I do it for the kids. And every year, man, we get more and more people. It's insane the amount of foot traffic we get. I think last year we probably had well over 400 kids.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good number. I actually wish I could go back to just like around 500 kids. I think that would be that's a good, like, people, that's a good number. Like, you can be busy enough, but you can reset if you're doing any startle or boo scares. You can kind of reset, or people don't see what you're doing because everything that you're doing is all out in the yard, right? Like front yard.
It's completely outdoors. Yep.
You're not doing a walkthrough, are you?
We are this year. It'll be my first time ever doing anything like that. With that being said, it's always been kind of set up like a trail so the trick-or-treaters can walk through it, and kind of get an up-close view of the display.
So they come into your, so everything is pretty much, like what I do is it's a front yard, it's a yard haunt. It's a front yard display.
Exactly.
Right? Okay.
Yep.
How much, what are you working with as far as like footage, or like how big is the front yard roughly?
I'm not sure the exact footage, but it's a pretty decent sized yard.
So what you had, so you set up they can walk, there's a certain path that they can walk through?
Exactly. It's basically like a figure eight.
Okay. So they can walk in, loop around, come back around, and get to see what give me an idea of some of the things that are out in the haunt. What kind of you have
do a really We do a Haunted Mansion inspired cemetery. I've always been a big Haunted Mansion nerd. We also do a little psych ward scene and a couple little tents I have set up in the yard. It's pretty decent size, about 10 by 10, so about a 20-foot little tunnel the kids can walk through. It's all asylum themed. Nurses, doctors, you name it. And we always do like the zombies. And last year we had a couple bands come out and play in the yard, which is really cool. The kids really enjoyed that. And we try to stick to about 4 or 5 different themes, I'd say, sub-themes.
So when I saw that video of the band playing out in the haunt, that was on Halloween night that they were out there playing?
Yes, it was.
All right, cool. Now, were they local friends of yours, or?
Local buddies of mine I've known for a long time.
You're not in the band?
I am not.
Okay. All right, so you're not even the roadie?
I guess you could say that, but I'd like to shout them out, though, if that's all right. Chaos Driven.
Maybe you should be a roadie. Pick up some of the loose strange, that they can't handle.
It'd be a fun job, yeah.
So, is there a theme behind Tales from the West Side?
I have yet to create a backstory. I need to. I kind of played around with that a little bit last year, doing some fake newspaper articles like that and hiding them in the display. But I don't think too many people really paid attention to it. So I think this year I really need to focus on that,
Yeah, it's hard for people. People aren't, if there's too much for people to look at, they're not going to read any finer details. That's the thing. Like when you're at, that's like one of the things that Disney does well, or, some of these, the theme parks will do well. Like Universal, if you're in the queue line, they'll leave all these little things for you to kind of read and find, and they add to the story of the ride as you're making your way, so it kind of can keep you busy. But if you're just there and you're going to be in and out in less than 5 minutes, people don't have the time. If they're not standing in line, they're not going to read anything. So if they can just kind of go right in and walk through. Yeah, they're probably not going to pick up on those kind of things. It's cool to do, but it's more for you. It's going to be more for you
exactly.
Than it's and for what you post online, on your Instagram, which was I think where I saw some of those. But yeah, but anyway, what are you building, and what are you buying? How much do you have of store bought versus how much do you have that you're building yourself? And not everything is 100% built, but things that you're putting together.
I used to go around setting up a lot of the local Halloween stores around here, so I would get first access and all the broken return props. So one of my favorite things to do, how it kind of started, was buying those broken store-bought props and just improving them, building better bodies, switching out those cheesy metal poles like PVC, use a spray foam to actually fill out the bodies with chicken wire, stuff of that nature. And then it kind of just grew to building bigger stuff, I guess you could say. I made a big cemetery fence out of PVC and wood. That was a really fun project. Very time consuming, but it was fun. Turned out really well. There's pictures of that on the Instagram as well. And right now, I'm kind of playing around with a couple props I'm building right now. I had this really weird dream a while back of this kind of cheesy zombie wearing a jack-o'-lantern as a helmet. So right now, I'm trying to create that. My plan is, I don't know if you're familiar with the old Heads Up Harry animatronic, where he lifts his head up and talks a little bit.
So basically, it has a pumpkin helmet on
Exactly.
The zombie. That's kind of cool. I don't think I've ever seen that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a weird dream I had, and I don't know. I don't know if I borrowed the idea from somewhere or something, but that was a cool image. Just ran with it.
It's amazing how we'll come across things over the years. You're just scouring around online, movies, whatever, and at one point you'd be like, "Oh, I got this great idea," and you think that you came up with it. And then you're like, yeah, it's a fucking great idea. Check this thing out. And somebody's like, oh, yeah, that's from so-and-so TV show or whatever movie. And I'm like, oh, you got to be kidding me. Denny, who used to do the prop shop on the show years ago, used to always say, like, we'd be talking about something, and I'm like, Denny, I got this great idea. And then I would tell him the idea, and he'd go, yeah, I know. I told you about that like 3 years ago. And I'm like, are you sure? He's like, yes, I'm sure. And I'm like, I don't know. I always think, it's funny. I put it back in the file system, back in the cranium, and then it just like pops out one day, and it's like, I thought I came up with that. That wasn't mine. Damn it! Shit, I thought that was my idea. It's funny that you mentioned.
It's a good idea. At least it stuck with you all that time.
Yeah. Well, you talking about kind of working and helping set up some of the spirit stores or whatever around the area.
Oh yeah,
that's definitely one way to get your foot in the door to get some bunch of free and the broken stuff. Now, one thing that somebody told me about, and actually this might have come from Denny too, because he was talking to one of the store managers from a spirit one year, and they were chatting. The guy's like, hey, you know what? He's like, when we close up the store, we do like, the 50% off the day after Halloween. And then the 2 days after Halloween, on like November 2nd, we do the 75% off of whatever's left. And then the rest of the shit, what can be, we package up, in a couple of containers, whatever we can, whatever we can put away. And then anything else that was like damaged, broken, or we just can't pack into the truck gets thrown into the dumpsters. So he was like, yeah, just go behind the dumpster after like the second, after like on November 2nd or 3rd. Just go in there and just raid just go completely dumpster dive. And I actually did it 1 year. I did it, and I got the only thing I really got that was worth anything. I grabbed a whole bunch of stupid shit. Like, I don't even know why I grabbed it. It was there. And then I just sat around my house forever. And then I ended up like, I had a whole bunch of like costumes and stuff that were in their packaging. And I eventually just went down to the like Goodwill or whatever, Salvation Army, after like 10 years had gone by, and just gave them to him to get rid of them because I never used them. But I had there was one severed head with like a spike in it, and I did the cotton ball and latex and repaint, did that to corpse it up and make it look better, and repainted it. And it looks really sweet now, where that was just a spirit find from the dumpster after, on November 3rd or whatever it was. Yeah. Now we're going to have, everybody's going to be raiding the dumpsters now after they hear this. But that's...
they're going to start locking them up, pouring bleach on it.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. Are you looking at anything that you're looking to buy this year, or do you have something that you're working on building right now for this year?
Honestly, I'll be completely honest. I'm not very impressed with any of the Halloween selection I've seen this year at Home Depot, Lowe's, Spirit. It's not really into it. So I think this year it's going to be a lot of building stuff, making my own creations and just running with it. Do
you have one idea of something that you're going to do for this year?
I really want to attempt a mausoleum.
A mausoleum?
Yes.
Okay. I can tell you how not to build one. The way I built it. What I did, I'll tell you. If you're gonna build it, okay. This is don't do this. Don't build the entire frame and make it so it's not so you can't disassemble it. Don't make it like a permanent frame. When you build it, make sure you're thinking about how you're going to be able to disassemble it and stack it away when you're done with it. Because what I did is I built a 2x3 wood frame, put Luan, like the 1/4-inch subflooring plywood around it, and then glued the foam. It came out great. It looked great, and I had it for a number of years. But the problem with it is that I had it weighed. It was so you couldn't really. I had to get into it and grab it from both sides, like put my palms up underneath it and try to lift it up and walk and baby step walk the thing from my front yard all the way to the furthest corner in my backyard to put it. So then I would have to wrap it up with tarps And then I'd have to repeat the process of doing, like, walking that sucker all the way out. And it's amazing. You just think of a 2x3 frame with some Luan on there and styrofoam. That thing got that was like over 100 pounds and a real pain in the ass to move around. So when you build yours, make sure that the walls, you can take them apart. Think about that, because it will make things so much easier on you, so that you can like disassemble it, easily put it away, and then bring it back out. It's just, once again, I can't give you I didn't do that. So look around and see if you can find some tips on how to make it so you can disassemble it, you know? Because mine turned into a nightmare. I loved the look of it, and I used it for a number of years, but then I just got so sick of moving it around, and that I just couldn't deal with it anymore. It was such a pain in the ass. What do you kind of do for like lighting for the front?
Oh, it's those LED lights that everyone's getting off Amazon that run off the app or whatever, you know. I use a lot of those. It took me a while, but I finally upgraded all my lights to those. I think we're running about 20 to 25 of them in the yard. And they're amazing. I love them. You can stick them up to the light or to the music, and they're just great. Now, I highly recommend them.
Are you talking about the ones that look like the small little flat panels that are like the RBG ones? Okay.
Yep, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
All the kids are into those nowadays.
They're amazing, and they're cheap as hell.
Yeah, I know. Because I've had I've had my lighting for years now. I've created some new like spots, but I have as far as the big floods, I've just had them for years, and I'm like, they work. I don't need to replace them. So if I had to start over, I would buy those. I just haven't. It's like I've got them. There's no need to buy other ones, even if they're cheap, because I've got my lighting already set.
I get it. That's kind of where I was till last year when I finally just kind of did school. It was like, yeah, we're going to commit to it and we're going to do it. It was definitely, I just got sick of replacing light bulbs, to be honest with you, on the flood.
Yeah. I used the LED floods instead of the condensate flood, and it also saves you a little bit on the electric bill. But do you also? I know. Well, music. You have a band coming out there. That's not a regular every year thing, though. The band, or is it?
To be completely it's going to be now. We're kind of keeping that the tradition, because music's always been a big role in the whole haunt. To be honest with you, a lot of it's inspired by music. A lot of bands I love. That was kind of accidental, though. I kind of just got the phone call on Halloween night, like, "Hey, can we come over and play?" I was like, "Why the hell not?" And there we was.
Do you have a bunch of people helping you out, acting, performing? Do you get out and act and get in costume? What do you do?
I do. I try every year to get actors. It's just very tough around here, so it's really a one-man operation.
I know all about that. I've been doing it by myself. Well, I've had a couple of helpers here and there, but I do the whole thing myself for years, and I'm all right with that. Like, I've actually liked the way it is now. It's streamlined a little bit. I don't have to depend on. Here's the thing: whenever you have to depend on people, they will always let you down. Always let you freaking down.
I am too familiar with that one.
Nobody is as into this shit as you are, and nobody cares as much. So most people are just like, yeah, whatever. I'll show up. Maybe I won't. Is there anything that you're looking to get into in the next year or so? Some things that you're looking to learn, whatever, anything?
I'd say learning, definitely. I'm really wanting to get into pneumatics. I've been doing a lot of research on it. I just haven't quite reached that point where I'm like, okay, I'm ready to attempt this. But I really want to make a trash can trauma. I just think those are so neat, and I love them.
They are amazing. The best trash can trauma I ever had was the cheapest one that I made.
Really?
Like, was the best. So I built this one out of just a plastic trash can, like a Rubbermaid trash can. I had a Husky bike pump inside of it. Now, I don't know if I recommend the Husky bike pump route. I wouldn't go that route. I would just get a real cylinder. All right.
Yep.
But all you need is one, like get a cylinder with, I don't know how much stroke. You have to measure out what kind of stroke you need, whether it's a 12-inch stroke or more. But get a cylinder that's just a straight cylinder, just go straight up. You don't need, I ended up buying one of these DC props, heavy lifter mechanisms, and it thing's awesome. It's heavy duty, but it does not have the same action as just straight up piston. So even though that thing's awesome and I've had it for years, it's never gotten the reaction I have gotten off my original trash can trauma. I would go back. I would go back to the or get the like that your classic metal. Like I don't even know if it's an aluminum.
I know
like
exactly
a tin,
what you're talking about.
like the metal ones. Like those are those
the garbage pail kid style.
Yeah, either that or just like a straight up plastic one with the lid.
Okay.
And like I say, I made that, and it had the bike pump, and so I had like a styrofoam head on top of the pump. Let's just call it the piston, right? So I attached the styrofoam head to it, put a mask on it, and had it. The action on it was absolutely phenomenal. The way it came up so strong, it came up so fast to pop the lid off. Now, the thing is, it would you could blow the lid right off the trash can.
Oh, wow.
So what I did is I had to take a couple. This is just something for your information. I drilled 2 holes through, about a couple inches apart from each other on the backside, like maybe like 4 inches on the, let's say, call it the backside of the trash can, up on the top part, right? And right where the lid, so where the lid and that would meet. So that was like my hinge, was just 2 zip ties that kept the plastic, Rubbermaid lid onto it. So those were like a hinge. And then when the thing popped up, so it would pop up, I also needed it to pull the head back down. So I used bungee cords, like those small bungee cords on the inside of the trash can, attached to like the head. I forget how I did it. I think I did wrap around the neck of the styrofoam, like some chicken wire. So I wrapped around and made like shoulders like attached to the neck and duct taped it up so it would stay, because I needed something a little bit stronger to keep the head to and I attached the bungee cords to that chicken wire and like down to the base, so it would pull the head and pull everything back, so it was connected to the lid. So when the head popped up, the lid wouldn't blow back off of the thing. It would come up just enough where the head would pop up, and then it would pull the lid back down when the piston came down. So it was just a great little action where the thing would pop up real fast, get a great startle, because everybody's thinking, oh, it's just a garbage can, right? Like that's the beauty. That is the beauty of a trash can drama, is it looks like an everyday item that you don't expect anything to happen from. Now,
exactly.
Now I had that. It worked great for years, and then I'm thinking, oh, I can do this better, and I ended up building getting a 55-gallon drum and putting all this toxic waste all over it, and got this Ghost Ride Productions head torso thing on the inside with the DC props heavy lifter thing. Never got the reaction that I got off of that cheap homemade, $50 build friggin', Home Depot style, and if I would tell people, I'm like, don't go for any of these big fancy lifters or anything like that shit. Get one piston, build it like that. Just really unassuming, basic trash can. Don't make it look like it's a toxic barrel. It's supposed to look like just like an average barrel. Yeah. That's what gets the action.
Don't overcomplicate it.
That's how it gets the startle, right? Exactly. It's like I way over-engineered it and overcomplicated it. Never got the same act. So now this year, I'm just not even putting it out anymore. It's finally getting retired. I might just sell the whole thing off. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. I might just use the lifter for something else. I got to figure out another thing they'll use that lifter for and get rid of that thing. But I like where your head's at, kid. That's it. The trash can trauma. The monster in the box, the trash can trauma. Those are all like basics that you can never go wrong with, and they're great starting.
Oh, yeah.
Great classics to get started with in pneumatics, just to kind of get your feet wet. So yeah, you gotta just do it. Just do one trash can trauma. After you do that, you'll have figured everything out. You'll understand how to connect the solenoid, how to connect it to the prop controller, how to program the prop controller, depending on what you get. Some are really simple, some are not.
I got to say, I think you just gave me the motivation I needed to do it. I think that might be my next project once I get this kind of pumpkin zombie thing done.
It was the first thing I did. It was the first pneumatic thing I ever did, and I would highly recommend that if somebody hasn't done one, do it. It just does get a great reaction. One of the best I've ever gotten. I've got some old video on YouTube where it's got some video, but it's so, dude, I don't even think it was 720. It was like 480p. It was like so bad you can barely even see what the hell's going on. I mean, the quality is brutally bad. That's why it's like I leave it up there just because of nostalgia, but it's so brutally bad.
Understandable.
Yeah. Everything's 4K now, man.
Oh yeah, gotta have the best of the best.
Yeah. So, all right. So, So besides from learning a little pneumatics, what's any other plans coming up that like for your haunt career now, your haunt side hustle? Anything that you're looking to kind of get into or do, or where you're looking to take your yard haunt?
My overall goal is just to try to get into the haunt industry in some way or another. I've built some pretty good connections with local haunts around here, we got some decent haunts around here. And there's a couple of them that's like actually doing, like having little booths at Trans World and stuff of that nature and selling props online. And that's really where I plan to go with it.
Have you ever tried to go down and become a haunt actor and do like at least a few nights at one of the haunts or anything like that?
I haven't yet. I wanted to last year, but just honestly, with the haunt and family and all that, I just didn't quite have the time to do it.
As far as getting into the haunt industry, are you looking to do like acting, or are you looking to do more like building, being on the production crew?
More production.
Yeah, more behind the scenes.
Yeah, that's definitely where my heart is.
Set building and all that stuff. That's what I would. I'm better at that than I am. I don't know if I'd be great. I mean, you think I talk on, do the podcast. I've done it for years, but I don't know how. I'm not as great on acting, having to put myself out in front of people. I'm much better behind the mic or behind the scenes. I do like getting my scares, and I do like getting dressed up and getting out in the yard. But there's something to be said about like the building process and stuff, because you could do that all year round. You have a very limited window in which to act.
It's a beautiful journey. Yeah. You learn a lot.
It is. So, all right. So we expect some progress on that trash can trauma this year. Okay. And if you need any help, be in that Discord and ask questions, and I will help you out as much as possible. All right. So I will
I definitely will reach out.
Dude, I will be your guide to help you through your first trash can trauma. And,
I appreciate it.
Yeah, and if there's anything else, like say, hit me up. That's one of the reasons I'm doing the Discord, is I wanted to be a bit more involved and help people out. Not that I know it all, believe me. And I want to. That's why I talk to people, because I learn so much. But I also want to try to give out and help other people get over sticking points for them, that along whatever it may be, and help them along this crazy journey as home haunters or pro haunt, whatever, home haunters, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Keep it to that. I'm not teaching pro haunters shit, probably.
The crazies.
Yeah. All right, dude. So anything else you want to tell us? Where can people, if people wanted to just, catch up with you online, you have an Instagram, right? So
yes, I do.
And that is?
Just Telstra West Side.
All right. And what about, you don't have a website, but you do have a Facebook page, right?
I do have a Facebook, which is also just Telstra West Side. And for any, my personal account is Rat Fetus.
All right.
If you see the name Rat Fetus on any chat forums or anything, that's me.
What about, do you YouTube channel or no?
No, I haven't quite went down the YouTube journey yet.
Oh,
it's
don't.
something it's a goal of mine. Yeah.
Don't. It's such a grind. I've attempted. You know what? I'm all about shorts. 1 minute videos are all I'm doing nowadays. That's it. I didn't even do a full
Straight to the point.
Dude, I didn't even do a full well, here's the thing. I was looking at some. You can go in and look at your analytics, right? And I'm looking at my haunt videos, right, for the last couple of years, and these are just like the full, your full like 5-minute haunt videos, which I always try to keep it to like 5 or 6 minutes max. That's it.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at this, and I'm like looking at these videos, and I'm like, people are just dropping out after 2 minutes, and that's pretty standard with almost anything I post. Within 2 to 3 minutes, people are gone. So I'm like, well, what am I doing anything that's longer than 2 or 3 minutes for? Because it doesn't make, So I figured, I go, you know what? People aren't going to drop out, before 1 minute. So I'm just going to start doing 1 minute videos. That's it. Shorts and reels,
if
man.
They work.
Shorts and reels, baby. That's it. So if you do that, I mean, you'll be all right. You know what? Just do it seriously. Just do reels on Instagram. My main focus is all on Instagram nowadays.
Oh, same here.
There's too much glut. There's too much bullshit. You get more interaction, more engagement over on IG. Just post stuff up on IG. That's it. You'll be fine.
It works wonders.
Yeah. All right, dude. Anything else? Any questions for me?
I do have one question.
Sure.
Kind of random. What type of music do you like listening to when you're working on projects?
Well, I don't like listening to stuff that I would typically like listening to. Like, if I'm going to listen to music, I just got into this. I've become more or less an audiophile lately, where I've gotten back. I bought a really nice system, put together a nice system. And when I want to listen to music, I want to sit down and blast, sit in my room. I built like a whole hi-fi room now, like old school hi-fi,
nice.
receiver, speakers, the whole 9 yards. So when I like listening to music, I want to sit in the room and blast and listen to music. And that's, Maiden, Priest, Sabaton, like more metal is my shit. When I'm listening, when I'm working on props and stuff, it can be anything from listening to my favorite podcast, Hauntcast. Have you ever heard of it? No, I don't just listen to my own podcast. I do a little bit, though. I go back and listen to some oldies, some of the classics.
Oh, yeah.
Some Revenant.
Stays on repeat.
Some Revenant back in the day. But no, I do listen to some audiobooks. I downloaded a whole bunch of horror books that I've been meaning to catch up on, and I've been kind of going through those. I just finished off The Troop. I think it's like Nick Cutter. Oh man, it was awesome. So good.
Oh, nice.
So
audiobooks
are good. And just typical atmosphere stuff like Midnight Syndicate and all my other various Virgil and my other haunt collections. Those for just atmosphere and getting me in the mood. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. And a lot of times I get so busy building, I can't even forget just to grab my earbuds and throw shit on like I'm just getting to projects. Like I was working on my Monster in the Box today for like hours trying to figure out why my Peekaboo controller wasn't recording like I was having
damn Peekaboo.
Oh, dude, it wasn't even that. I'm not like slamming the controller. Most of my problem was I have an ancient Mac and an ancient iPod Classic, and I was trying to I needed the iPod Classic to plug into the Peekaboo. My brain fart was this. I could have just plugged directly into my computer, which is sitting right in front of the freaking device, but I wasn't thinking, I could just plug into the headphone jack and plug in and play through there to put because I had to put in two different, the attack effect and the ambient like monster breathing effect. And I'm going through and I'm struggling and I couldn't figure out what the problem was. And like, the iPod wasn't connecting properly. And then I finally switched over and I went on Windows and I'm like, I just downloaded the iTunes version from Windows and I connected there. And then I was trying to record. So it was like a wasted like an hour and a half of my time with all this nonsense. And I go, wait a minute, I can just plug the computer directly into the Peekaboo and just record. Why was I doing this? I was just determined to figure out what the problem was with the iPod and the whatever. It's just so stupid. Sometimes you get caught. I hate wasting my time with nonsense like that. That's one of the reasons I like things that are very simple when it comes to the tech. I don't mind spending my time with the pneumatics and all that other shit. Anyway, I had my headache there, but all I wanted to do is work on my monster in the box, and then I was like another couple hours. I took all morning into the afternoon working on that because I'm determined to make it the most kick-ass monster in the box ever. So
I can't wait to see it. I love the progress pictures on it and all of it.
Yeah, I've got more coming. Anyway, all right, Nick. So once again, I start talking about myself way too much in these interviews, and I apologize because that's.
You are perfectly fine. I appreciate the knowledge.
All right. Anyway, once again, I want to see the trauma updates, ask questions. I'll help you out. Anything else? Hey, and I appreciate you listening to the podcast. Always a pleasure. I appreciate any of the support out there. It's always good.
Thank you for having me on. It's been an honor.
All right, man. And as I always say, I will catch you around the net. Or should I say around the interwebs? That I actually should change my saying. Catch you around the interwebs. Maybe that's kind of what I'm going to do from now on. All right, Nick, later.
Later.
Please like, subscribe, comment, give us a 5-star review, share with friends, and buy us a beer if you see us out in the wild. Follow us on Instagram at hauntcast.podcast for show updates as well as more pictures and video content. Join the Hauntcast Hunt Club on Discord, with live streams bi-weekly. Also, like and follow our Hauntcast Facebook page. Listen to the entire back catalog of our audio podcasts, available on all podcast platforms, with over 550 segments now available. Until next time, stay scary.
I got to warn you. You're doomed to stay. Go. Go.